Hello class, welcome to our flipped video lesson today. Before I get started, I just wanted to give a class announcement. Make sure that all of you are on page 84 or the beginning of chapter 8 of Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. If you have not gotten to that part in the book, please read before you watch the video because there's going to be some spoilers. We did get to chapter 8 in class, but if you're absent for any reason, come get a book from me because it's just, you're not going to get as much out of the lesson if you haven't read it. So let's get started. We are going to talk about imagery today. Now, most of you have heard of imagery. If not, or if you have, we're still going to review it anyways. It's good to review. So imagery is just a literary device that appeals to all five senses through its description. So this is touch, sight, scent, taste, sound. This is just ways that the author uses so that readers can see the picture that they're painting. So they're painting a picture with words is what imagery is. So imagery can be used through figurative language. Different ways to create imagery is by using words that don't quite mean what they literally mean. So, for example, in this little cartoon here, the father goes, "Wow, it's raining cats and dogs out there. Goody, I was hoping to get a new puppy." So this is an example of figurative language. Obviously, it's not raining actual dogs and cats outside. It just means that it's raining very hard. So one way that imagery is used is in this figurative language. This is not literal, but it creates a good image, right? Another way to use imagery is through literary devices. So these are techniques writers can produce in the special effects of the writing. These are all things that you guys learned in your last English class, but we will go over them if you guys have any questions about them. So allusion, diction, epigraph, ephonism, foreshadowing. Imagery is also a literary devices, but any of these literary devices can be used in imagery. So yeah, there's that for you. If there's any of these that you don't understand and don't recognize, please write them down and then we can talk about them in class. And that way it'll all be clear and we'll be able to learn and use imagery a little bit more. So some great examples. Oh, here's a fun example. Okay, now let the cat out of the bag. Just kind of a funny, one of those figurative languages that they made actual. Kind of fun. Whatever happened to good old-fashioned elbow grease? New and improved, right? So just fun English humor for you. All right, so next I want to talk about, so here's another example. What's being said isn't actually happening. So this is idioms and metaphors, exaggeration. These are great ways to bring out imagery. So here's an example. My dad was angry when the car cut him off. And you get what it's going for, but if you describe it as my dad was a bear when a red Corvette flew in front of us, I mean, not only have you used red Corvette so you can see the car, but the car didn't fly, and my dad isn't actually a bear, even though he may look like it, right? So these types of literary devices just creates more to the imagery there. All right, so next thing I want to talk to you about is the examples that we saw in the last few chapters that we've read. So Ari got sick, and he ended up having these weird dreams. So during his fever, his first dream was when sparrows started falling out of the sky, right? And then another one was it was raining, but it wasn't raining sparrows this time. And he was lost and calling. He was also calling to men in his life, if you guys noticed that little Fitbit. So that was his dad, brother, and Dante. So those were the big ones during his fever, and then even after his fever, he ended up having some weird and very vivid dreams that the author did a wonderful job using imagery for. So one was that he was driving his new truck, right? If you guys remember that. And was kissing a girl and hits Dante completely runs over him. I mean, if I had that dream, I'd be pretty scarred too, so I don't blame Ari for his reaction. And then the last one I want to talk about was about, not Dante, about Ari calling for his brother over the river. And so these were some of the dreams that he had. There are others in there we can talk about. But these are going to be the 4 main that I want you guys to look at. So these are on pages 60 through 84. So if you guys find those, when you go to class, I want you to pick one of Ari's dreams, and I want you to do a close read and pick out some imagery. So I'm not going to give you guys a word count on how many you need to bring to class, so not like 100 or 300 words, but I want you guys to have some good connections. I want you to write. So I will give you one example. One is during his first dream, sparrows out of the sky. The author says, they were falling like rain, and then they were hitting me as I fell. So there, right there is good imagery. They used a simile saying they were falling like rain. So those are going to be certain examples you can use. Obviously, you can't use that example because I just gave it to you. But those are the examples I want you guys to look for when we discuss this in class. So when we get to class, you guys are going to have a close read of one of these dreams. You can also pick another dream that's in there. I'm not going to limit you to these 4. I just wanted to give you guys some ideas. And then, yeah, we'll discuss those in class and talk about those cool imagery dreams that are in there. And then the next thing that we're going to do is talk about how to write and use imagery. I mean, it's great if you can recognize it, but it's even better if you guys can create it, and I know you can. So this is how you're going to do this. So just like how you recognize imagery through the senses, that's how you're going to create it. You're going to appeal to any one or multiple of the bodily senses. So, and then you'll use figurative language and literary devices. We'll talk about those a little bit more in class for the ones that were on that list. The ones that you didn't know, we'll definitely talk about those. And then you just write in detail and draw the scene. So just like I said before, you need to write or paint. You need to paint the scene with words. That's all imagery is. And you're just going to be creating the image with your words. So just like Ari, who had those vivid dreams, I want you guys to pick any dream that you've ever had. And if there's any that you're like too sensitive to share, make one up. I'm totally fine with that. How am I supposed to know if it's real or not, right? So I just want you guys to pick a dream, and I want you guys, when we get to class, this is what we're going to do. We're going to discuss imagery, and then we're going to write your dream in using imagery and using these literary devices that we talked about. And that will be pretty much all of class. So thanks you guys for watching. Make sure that you have to 84 read by class time. Have your close read of one of Ari's dreams. Have an idea of what dream you want to write about. And then if you have any questions about this video or about any of the figurative language or literary devices that we talked about, please write them down and let me know during class. Because if you have a question about it, I'm sure a lot of other people do too. So thank you, and we'll see you at class.